Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. I'm coming at you from Shelburne, Maine, on a zero today. First of all, thank you for everyone that supported the channel, as always, and supported the charity that I'm hiking for. If you don't know what I'm talking about, here's the link. I'll add it right here. This video is going to be all about the fifth agent who was killed in action that belonged to Hustler 6, and his name is Special Agent Chester McBride. Well, I didn't know Chester personally. I did get to go to his funeral, and I felt like that was a very special thing to be a part of that. And I know a good colleague of mine who has donated quite a bit to the charity. He was good friends with Chester, as well as others that knew him well. So Chester is originally from Statesboro in Georgia. He graduated from Statesboro High School in 2003, and then he pursued his Bachelor of Science degree in Criminal Justice at Savannah State University in 2007, and then he went on to get his Master's in Public Administration from Valdosta State University in 2015. Like I just mentioned, I went to his funeral in Statesboro, and I cannot begin to describe how well that community came together after his death. It was amazing to see everyone in the community just come together and show their support for the family and friends and honor him as a hero. He started his Air Force career in 2007, joined the Air Force as a Security Forces member, and I spoke about that career field in prior videos, but his first duty assignment was at Moody Air Force Base in Georgia. I'm sure his family was pretty happy about that because that's not very far from his hometown. His latest deployment to Afghanistan was not his only deployment. So Chester was deployed as a Security Forces member under the 822nd there at Moody Air Force Base, and he went to Iraq on a joint tasking as a machine gunner, and his job was to do 120 combat operations that secured about 340 square kilometers. And then he deployed to Afghanistan as well, and he was credited with doing 22 outside the wire missions and 350 joint patrols that enabled a 70% decrease of enemy fire against the operating base, which is pretty significant. On one such patrol, he and his team secured a landing zone in a high threat area that enabled the safe transport of 7 wounded Afghan soldiers. Chester was recruited into OSI in 2012, and after his training, he returned briefly to Moody Air Force Base, I believe as a rookie agent, and then he was later reassigned to Maxwell Air Force Base in Alabama, which still isn't far from his hometown. So once again, a younger agent, only in the command and only a special agent for a brief period prior to his deployment to Afghanistan, where the incident occurred that resulted in Hustler 6 being killed in action. So from Special Agent Henry, who was his operations superintendent at the time, he said McBride was just a true teammate, and he knew within the first week of meeting him that he was destined to do great things in the future. I know a little bit about Chester, and from what I heard, the FBI was actively pursuing him, and he was planning to join the FBI after his deployment. So my buddy Rick, also an OSI colleague and significant donator of the charity, sent me some words he received from some colleagues about Agent McBride. So I will include those in the comments below so you can see a little bit more about Chester and his life. I have not talked to his family yet, but once again, I was amazed at just how well the community came together to honor him as a hero when he came back after learning of his death. And I know that he was destined for great things, so it's truly sad, but what we can do at this point is continue to honor him and continue to share his story Please keep him and his family and friends in your thoughts and prayers. Agent McBride, till Valhalla, rest in peace. And with that, I give you guys the video. This video, I did a lot of video, so I've had to crop it down quite a bit, but most of it is in the whites and crossing into Maine. More to come. Yeah, I would say it was a good day to zero today, because we would have been up on that ridge. Okay, it was a good day to zero today for sure. Had bad weather all day today. I went to the trailhead about 30 miles up from where we're gonna start at Franconia Ridge tomorrow. And no signal, parking was kind of tight, so found this spot. Let me show you, let me flip the camera. It's a scenic overlook, so you're looking at Mount Washington right there. That's Mount Washington Resort. Cloud is covering Mount Washington, but really cool view. I don't see any signs saying I can't park here overnight, so hopefully I won't have a knock at the door. Ready to go?
Hell yeah!
Not really.
No. Let's crush this mountain today, boys.
Let's stink up my van with hiker trash.
Hiker trash.
Oh, we took showers last night.
Oh, well, that's good. Better than us.
That's true. All right, made it back to Liberty Springs Trailhead. Picked up Yak, Pneumonia, and Whisperer. So Jess, this is where we hopped on in October last year. We did a few miles and called it quits because the climb was so bad and the rain was so bad. So I know this is the only section of trail that I know what to expect. So this is Franconia Ridge. It's going to be a really good climb up, but it looks like it's going to be clear and hopefully we'll have some good views. That said, it's supposed to be really windy today, so hopefully it won't be too bad. It is definitely colder. It was in the 40s last night, so I think once we get up to elevation, we might be camping in 30-degree weather. But we'll see. More to come. Hey Jess, does this look familiar? It was raining when you and I did this, but it's still tough, but it's not nearly as bad as what I remember it. I'm assuming, because I'm in a little bit better shape now. Almost up to Mount Lincoln.
Cool as hell.
Yep. And this is why we waited for a clear day. So making it to the top of Mount Lincoln, getting a good shot of Lafayette right now. You can actually see people on the peak right now. right, a little less windy behind this bridge right here, but that was Mount Lafayette, 5,200 feet. First time over 5,000 in quite a while. So far, hands down, Franconia Ridge is my favorite section of the trail. I'm very glad that we zeroed yesterday and waited for a nice day to be up here. It's gorgeous. You can see behind me that tallest peak right there. That's Mount Washington. We'll be there in 2 days, hopefully. Still got 10 miles left for the day, so I'm gonna get moving. The wind is cold. I would say it's probably 40s, low 40s with the wind chill. But other than that, the sun feels good. Awesome climb up. Lots of people. I wouldn't want to be here on the weekend. I can only imagine how many people are up here. More to come. Back at Lafayette, All right, just ended a long, very hard day. Probably the hardest on trail so far. I think some people that I am hiking with are a bit cranky. We had to hike 0.8 from AT to get to this campsite. And if you don't know, in the White Mountains, they have caretakers at various campsites and they charge you money to stay here. So there's a bunch of wooden platforms to pitch tents down there. Talked to the caretaker. He told me about some overflow sites that are on the ground, so he took me up here, which I think is a pretty sweet spot. Still sucks we got to pay for it, but it's away from all of the people, the shelter, which isn't convenient for water and privy and stuff like that, but awesome site here, nestled amongst the evergreens. Pretty cool. More to come. Good morning, everyone. Well, what I thought was going to be an awesome campsite turned into a bit of a nightmare last night. A group of about 8, including 6 boys and 2, I guess you would call them adults, showed up right at our campsite and lacked all trail etiquette, making all sorts of noise. But I was able to fall asleep, I think, at around 11. Got some sleep and started packing up at around 5 this morning. So I was sure to return the favor for them this morning, making some noise. Yesterday, like I said, was extremely tough. I think today will be a little bit better. Got 12 miles to go to the van. More to come. This is the top of Mount Kayaking. climbing Mount Washington tomorrow. On the menu tonight, before we get started, we're gonna go 2 packages of ramen, some tuna, since I was able to go to the store. Put some soy sauce in it, and to help me cook, some jack. I'm currently at a campsite, and I'm not sure if I'm supposed to pay or not just to park, but I'm gonna park here until someone tells me otherwise, so we'll see what happens. Got 27, a little under 27 miles to the next road crossing, so trying to figure out where we're gonna camp after Mount Washington. So we'll see what happens. Morning. So today is Mount Washington. I'm not really sure what the plan is. Vehicles are about 26 miles apart, which would mean we'd have to go up and over Washington and up and over Mount Madison. And the backside of Madison is like one of the steepest descents on the trail, and both are above tree line, so camping options are pretty slim to none. But left at 0600, it's about 065, but 0600 right now. So we're either gonna get to camp really early and not summit, or make the decision to push past, I guess. I'm not exactly sure, so we'll see. More to come. Mount Washington over there underneath the clouds. You can see the resort down there at the bottom. Washington, about 4.5 miles away. I've already climbed over 4,000 feet. Well, it looks like Mount Washington and Mount Madison are going to be completely socked in at the top. Right here is Washington, Madison's over here. I don't know if it's going to be windy or not, so I thought I'd just explain now. My mom gave me a penny to put somewhere on the trail for my grandpa who passed away last July. And I chose Mount Washington, so I'll be doing that up there. Miss you and love your Poppy. Those of you who don't know, Mount Washington has the highest recorded wind speed on record. I believe it is 231 miles. So my Poppy was a strong dude, so I figure I'll represent him with Mount Washington because it's so strong up there. And trying to decide still what to do. So you can see the landscape here. Obviously can't be pitching a tent up here, and I think it's like this all the way from Washington to Madison, and then you got to drop down a little bit to get to tree line, but it's a very, very steep descent, so I'm not sure what the camping options are there. So we might just end up doing a 26-mile day. I have no idea, which is not ideal, not something I wanted to do, but I don't know, I guess we'll see what happens. Gorgeous views though, even with the clouds. Still got a little snow on the backside of Washington. Alright, you're looking at Madison Hut. So in the Whites, they have huts like these that people reserve and pay actually quite a bit of money to stay at. I think a bunk is like 100 to 150 bucks. But what they used to do is allow through hikers to work for stay. So you would work, do dishes or other chores for about 2 hours, and then they would let you stay. However, they aren't letting through hikers do that anymore due to COVID. So we're at about 18 and a quarter for the day. We were gonna stay at a tent site that's like half a mile down the mountain, but the caretaker here said it's more like 3/4 and it's extremely steep. So that's a mile and a half. We aren't walking on the AT, so thinking about pushing and going over Mount Madison and then starting the descent, because there's a tent site 2 to 3 miles going that way, and that's the direction we need to go. So I think that's what we're gonna do. It's about 5 o'clock, so we'll get in later than usual, but I think it'll be worth it. More to come. I wish there was a way I could capture this, but I know there's not. So leaving the hut, heading up Madison, looking straight down right now. To get to the top, it's only 0.5, but it is straight up. And we get to come down it, and it's pretty much this grade for 3 miles coming down. It's gonna be brutal. Looking back at Mount Washington from Mount Madison. Right up there is where the weather station is and where I took that photo of the dollar bill. You can see the road people take to get to the top. 40 bucks for a car to drive up there. But it's free to hike. Yeah. At the top of Mount Madison, about to drop down. Plus grass. Tree line, find a camp spot. It'll be slow going. That was brutal, but finally back into the tree line, hoping to find somewhere to put a tent. You are a crazy bird. Where are you going? Where are you going? Okay, so tree line is right up there. Almost walked right past this place, but found a sweet stealth spot. So if you look, narrow cut in the trees. Raptors over there. I barely had enough room to put my tent up. I can't close the doors. Hoping it doesn't rain, but should be good. Morning, everyone. Picking back up at Pinkham Notch. Shooting for a big day. 21.3 miles. It will take us up and over Wildcat Mountain, which is a ski resort, and then up Carter's Gap, and then I believe Mount Moriah will be today as well. We'll see. So I can't remember if I updated you all in here or if it was just social media, my daily updates, but I've developed a bit of a problem on my left foot, on my small toe. It was actually something I was very concerned about before even starting this hike, because I had the same problem in my right foot and I had to have surgery. But essentially what it is, it's called hammer toe, so my toe is not oriented correctly and I put all the weight on the side of that toe, then it causes it to rub the wrong way and causes a bone spur. And I noticed the exact same thing happening to it last night or the day before. I do have new shoes. The other ones were absolutely destroyed. I only got 350 miles out of them. Ultra is sending me another pair, but I'm hoping that the new shoes will be enough to get me through to Katahdin and the toe doesn't get worse. Feels like there's one new physical problem after another lately. And that's happening to quite a few of us from what I'm seeing, with others having knee problems, and I don't know, I guess it's just to be expected, I guess, once you get close to 2,000 miles. So fingers crossed, and more to come. All right, made it to the top of the first wildcat climb. I believe there's 4 climbs like that today. What do you think of this climb so far?
What?
What do you think of this climb so far?
This is A-okay.
I just made it up and over Carter's Dome. It was about a 1.5 mile hike straight up from the hut. Looking forward, looks like we don't have climbs nearly as tough as Carter and Wildcat, so still hoping to make it to the van by the end of the day. But we haven't even gone 7 miles and it's taken us 5 hours and 20 minutes, so definitely slow going. But that's the weights. More to come. This is probably going to be the best opportunity to catch me falling. Hopefully it won't be deadly.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Tree, for giving me some roots here to hold on to. Oh, don't hold on to that one.
Yeah, between loose rocks and questionable roots. I'm not sure. And slick surfaces. It's crazy how this is the trail.
Usually they put
You safe? Sorry folks, no drama. We'll see if I make it down in one piece.
So what you just saw there, there's a lot of that in the white. I would say the past, I don't know, 90 miles, and we still got 30 more miles. There's a lot of that going up and down, so it definitely takes its toll physically and it slows you down. My feet are killing me right now. But think that's the last big decline, and we're about to climb Mount Moriah, which will be our last peak for the day before dropping down a couple thousand feet to the van. More to come. Some battle wounds. Mine's bigger. No pain, no rain, no Maine. Man, yesterday we really kicked our butts. Did over 21 miles. It was extremely hot. It's even worse today. It's like 100% humidity. They said heat index is over 100. So we have about 31, 32 miles back to the van. So I'm gonna overnight it somewhere along the way. About 16 and a half from Maine. I don't know that we'll hit the state line today or tomorrow, but we should hit 1,900 miles today. And it looks like it's gonna storm on us at some point, so we'll see. More to come. 1,900, 293.1 left. Alright, I didn't film too much today. Today was not my favorite day. Like I said, it was 90 plus degrees, heat index of 100. Bugs, I felt like I couldn't breathe. I have not been able to drink enough water, but finishing up about 16 miles, 16 and a half. I got about another half a mile to the campsite, but I can finally say I walked from Georgia to Maine. That's awesome. If I wasn't so tired, I probably wouldn't look so pathetic, but I am really tired right now. That's not the ultimate goal. Katahdin's the ultimate goal. So, Katahdin, I'm coming for you. 282 more miles. Mountain, third highest mountain in Maine. Gonna go up and over today. Hopefully, it's not looking too good at the peak.
Want to get that.
What are we about to climb?
Well, I think we're actually in the notch. This is Mahoosuc Notch.
Yeah, we just started the trail. And it's, I don't know, it may be high 80s, low 90s, but we get into these notches and there's like these natural refrigeration holes, and it lowers the temperature like 20 degrees. It's awesome. Let me see if I can show you. Here's one of the holes, snow and ice, and it just comes up, cools us off. If I have this the whole way up this mountain, I'll be one happy camper. I'm videotaping now.
Oh. Oh. According to the blaze, they want you to go down and under over here too.
Yeah, well. This video just isn't going to do it justice, and I probably shouldn't be doing this. It's insane. I don't know why I haven't heard of the Mahoosic Notch Trail. All right, just finished Mahoosic Notch Ridge Trail. Is that what it is?
I think it's just Mahoosic Notch.
What'd you think of it?
The best and the worst part of the trail. It was fun.
Yeah, I think it was definitely the funnest, but it was, I wouldn't want to do more of it.
It's a beep.
Yeah.
It's a mother fricker.
Yeah, it is.
Falling in and around and through boulders with ice still in them. There's little chilled areas in there that feel really good. It's about 85, 90 degrees.
That was my favorite part.
Yeah, you stop for a little break and cool off for a minute.
I would have loved that as a kid though, going through there.
Yeah.
Rock hopping.
Yep. That was.
Feels weird to be back on normal ground. All right, y'all, that's gonna do it for this video. I can't tell you how tired I am and how much everything is hurting right now. Maine was a huge wake-up call so far. So probably gonna be dialing back the mileage, so it might be a while until the next video, which will be the last video as far as representing OSI's Fallen. But I'm planning to do at least 2 more after that, which will be the ending when Whoopsie Daisy comes and joins me for about 100 miles, and then I'll do 1 video just on Summit Day. So thanks for sticking with me. Thanks for supporting me and the charity. Happy trails, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. More to come.